I just decided to get out of the car for a moment on my trip to Yosemite and just stretch my legs for a moment. And oh boy, I picked a nice little spot to stop where there's a river. You can hear it in the background. I think it was the Merced River. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And you see, it's just clear, beautiful river flowing along this 140 highway that I'm taking.
Take some coffee and some
on our way to Yosemite via 140. We were up, and now we're going down. Just all sorts of colors. I guess some flowers are starting to come out a little bit. Some pinks and some yellows, and the green of the grass and the trees, and the river, of course. It's really a nice drive. We are in the Sierra National Forest. As you can see from the map, Yosemite is a huge national park, and there's a lot to see. Some areas are closed in the winter due to snow and ice around November to late May. But for this visit, we are concentrating on the most iconic area, the Yosemite Valley. Here you will find waterfalls, El Capitan, and Half Dome. So we're in the park, and driving towards the visitor center. Just a beautiful drive. So many places that look inviting to stop along the way. It's hard to resist. But here's a place right by the river. Oh my goodness. Yeah, nice view. Right near Fern Spring, I think it's called. Fern Spring was a natural filtration system for the Native Americans. Whoa, check this out. Oh my goodness, wow. What is that? This looks like some sort of small frozen waterfall. Look at those little tiny trees up there. This is across from, I think that might be Bridal Falls. So they are apparently working on the trail to the Bridal Falls, unfortunately, or fortunately for people in the future, but it's blocked off over there. So I guess we can't go right over there, unfortunately. But still, it's quite beautiful. And I've shown many shots of it. And that is El Capitan, a kind human told me. And I got confused with Half Dome, and I thought, well, that can't be Half Dome already. Anyway, I think that's El Capitan, which is a different, incredible rock. Well, I can see why the famous Earth photographer, Ansel Adams, liked filming here, because it's amazing. Every step of the way is so picturesque. I'm not sure which one that is, but check the brain feed and insert name here. This is Sentinel Meadow and Cook's Meadow Loop area. You get multiple views of Yosemite Falls and Half Dome. I'll do a little taste here and then head over to the Yosemite Valley Visitor Center area, and I'll come back to this area again later in the video for a more in-depth hike to the lower falls. The falling water, when you look up close, almost seems like it's moving in slow motion, but this is real time. I got a little confused by the sign. It seemed like the visitor center was at a big parking lot area where it's actually just a bathroom. I parked at what I thought was the visitor center, but it's a big parking lot, and then you hike for a bit to the actual visitor center. Oh, it's a bit of a maze. There are good signs. I had such ambitions when thinking about Yosemite. I wanted to hike up to Columbia Rock. I found this great map showing the various hikes to Upper and Lower Yosemite Fall. I definitely wanted to do the easy hike to the Lower Fall, and I had ambitions of hiking up all the switchbacks to Columbia Rock, or possibly even Upper Yosemite Fall view. But as I hiked toward the trailhead, I had to be honest about the state of my knee and my back that day. We already walked to the village and walked through that, and it was quite nice, but mostly closed down. But we're going to go to Yosemite Falls ahead and Cook's Meadow. Those are going to be great. I can imagine in the summer months, this place must be a madhouse. It's March now. I think it's a good time of year to visit, actually. Not terribly crowded. There are people here, but not so overwhelming with finding parking and traffic and stuff like that. Nice walk. Walking seems to be very much encouraged in the Yosemite Valley and Yosemite Village. A lot of things are very close. There is also a shuttle system. Now you see two falls. So I turn around and it looks like Half Dome is coming into view. And there's the falls there. So if we get over there in the meadow, I'm sure we'll be able to see Half Dome pretty well. Beautiful. Okay, we've just entered the easy trail to Lower Fall. I'd like to tell you a story of a very kind human who I met right here at this spot. Usually I capture images of my trips with the Gugu-Gee-an Invisodrone, invisible camera technology from our home planet. But today I was playing around with a human-made camera, and I hiked to the falls and realized at some point between the beginning of the turn toward the falls and the falls, I had lost the camera cap to the lens of the camera. I went back to the beginning of where I last remembered having it, and I was looking at some benches where I'd sat down, and there was a nice family there, a husband and wife and a couple of kids. I apologized for snooping around near them, but told them that I'd lost my camera cap. Well, the dad said that his small son had seen a camera cap on the trail and pointed it out to him. Would you believe he walked all the way back with me for at least 6 to 7 minutes, and by goodness, he found that cap. I thanked him for taking the time away from his family. There is good here on Earth, Gugu-Gee-ans. Just don't tell them you're an alien, or they'll imprison you at Area 51. Otherwise, they are very kind. walking over to the Upper Falls trailhead, and I gotta be honest with you, my knee is not feeling great and my back got tweaked this morning. It is a tough hike. I was thinking about going part of the way. The top part I wouldn't do anyway because it looks too dangerous for someone who's not great with heights. But I don't think I'm gonna do any of it. There's plenty of other beautiful things to see. And I'm gonna post a link to a great video I found which talks about that hike. And ooh, I'll post a time marker so you can see when it gets kind of scary. At any rate, here's where it starts. And that's where you're going. They're over there. 3.5 miles. I felt an interesting emotion at this point in the hike. Guy's climbing. Embarrassment and pain. The lesson is, even when you're not on the edge of a cliff, be careful of your surroundings. I got so fixated on the rock and the climbers that, well, I can tell you, it did not feel good on my already aching back. But I walked away like nothing had happened. I felt embarrassment. It was very interesting, this human emotion. So, circling around from the falls. This trail is really well kept up, which is a good thing because I'm sure there's a lot of people that come through, and so they're preserving the area by making a good trail for people so they don't trample the growth that's happening in other areas. So I've walked a lot today so far, probably about 6.5 miles so far, I think. Whew. Here we are, coming out of the woods and back to the meadow area, and there's Half Dome. Back in the meadow here. I mean, this meadow is pretty spectacular. It's got a lot of great views all around. It's all right here.
By the way, very quickly, if you like the show, consider Buy Me a Coffee to help support the show. Buy Me a Coffee is a great way for creators and artists to accept one-time support or membership ongoing from their fans for the price of a coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com/brainfire to help the show. Thank you.
Get out of here to where the weather is clear. We'll take some coffee and some bagels and get out of here to where the